Welcome. What I want to do today is show you how to simplify this irrational expression. So what I have here is 6, or adding pretty much these two irrational terms. So I have 6 divided by b plus 6, b minus 6, plus 4 divided by b minus 8. So the important thing we need to understand is we have two rational terms, or fractions as we might want to say, and we have an operation which is addition. So if we can look back in the day when we were dealing with fractions, let's say, I don't know, 5/7 plus 2/3. All right? Back in the day when we had to do a problem like that, your teacher might have stressed you have to have common denominators to add fractions. So what we had to do is we had to determine what is the common multiple, or the least common denominator, of 7 and 3. So we'd write the multiples of both numbers, and we'd say, oh, the least common multiple is 21. That means I need to get both of these denominators to be 21. So what I would do is I'd say, to get 7 to be 21, I need to multiply by 3. But you need to make sure you multiply in the top and the bottom to keep your fractions equivalent, because 15 over 21 is equivalent to 5/7. Then I looked at 2/3 and I said, what do I need to multiply by 3 to get to 21, and that's by 7. So 2 times 7 is 14 over 21. 14 over 21 is equivalent to 2/3. Then, once I have the same denominators, I can combine them, right? So I could just say that's 29 over 21. Now, that's the old stuff to get you to remember this stuff. All right, so here I have a little bit difficult story, right? I have b minus 6 and b minus 8. What is the least common multiple of those two? It's a lot harder, isn't it? Well, one trick you can use, if you notice, to always find a multiple, even if it's not always the least common multiple, to always find a multiple between two numbers, you can just multiply one denominator times the other denominator, right? And in this case, it was the least common multiple. It doesn't work for all numbers, but it will at least give you a multiple that you can work, and then you can simplify it at the end. So when I'm looking at this problem, if I don't know what the least common multiple is, it's not easy for me to understand it. I know that I can at least find a common multiple by multiplying the numerator and the denominator by the opposite denominator. So here I multiply by, let's just actually, here we go. So let's rewrite this. So let's write it as 6 divided by b minus 6 plus 4 over b minus 8. So to get common denominators, and now I'm dropping my stuff, I'm going to multiply this by b minus 8 over b minus 8. And here I'm going to multiply this by b minus 6 over b minus 6. And since this marker is about to die, we'll just kick it out of the way. So now I can simplify this and see what we come up with. Well, I don't need to multiply this out. I just know it's going to be my common denominator. Here, I'm going to have to apply the distributive property, right? Because I'm multiplying a number times an expression inside of parentheses. And the same thing over here. You're going to have to do distributive property because you're multiplying. So 6 times b is 6b. 6 times 8 is a negative 48. Plus, positive 4 times b is 4b. Positive 4 times negative 6 is a negative 24. And that's all over your common denominator, which I'm not going to expand. I'll just leave it as a binomial times your binomial. All right? Now I look at this and say, all right, can I combine like terms? Well, since 6b and 4b have the same factors or variable factors, b, you can combine those to get 10b. And then I do negative 48 minus 28, which will be a negative 72, all over b minus 8 times b minus 6. Then there's one thing we want to make sure we take a look at and say, can I simplify this or even factor out, some common terms? And you can definitely take a look at this and say, well, I could factor out a 2. So, and I'm going to look just to make sure these don't cancel out or not. So another way you can write your answer is you factor out a 2, you'll be left with 5b minus 36 all over b minus 8 times b minus 6, which they don't cancel out, but it's just another way to write your answer in there. So that's how you simplify. Make sure you find common denominators, multiply through, combine like terms, and simplify. There you go. Thanks.